Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble pranams at the lotus feet of beloved Bhagawan. When we wish to lead a spiritual life, a day-to-day life that is spiritual, practical spirituality, it is very important that we first understand what is the meaning of spirituality, what is the meaning of a spiritual life. For instance, let us begin by considering two activities. I shall describe these activities and let us in our own minds think which activity is spiritual and which is not. This exercise is very important because it will help us in solidifying our understanding of spirituality and how to lead a spiritual life on a day-to-day basis. So, here is the first activity. I will call it rearranging the room. So, here is a room in which there are many objects. There is furniture, there are paintings, there are flowers, there are different things, and we are going to rearrange it. It is not as if the room is dirty, messed up, in a bad shape. No, nothing like that. Just for a change, we are going to rearrange everything so that it looks like a different room, a new room. This is activity number 1. Now, the activity number 2 that I am going to describe is Narayana Seva, or let us say feeding those who are in need. We will be going and serving food to those who are hungry, those who have not been fed for some time, or those who are unable to afford rations or food because of various circumstances in their life. Either we will be serving this food to them or we will be handing out pre-packaged hampers so that they can eat. Now, out of these two activities, if we have to decide which is spiritual and which is not, what would be our decision? Well, let me make the decision making a bit easier by stating that we need not decide which is spiritual and which is not. At least can we decide which activity is more spiritual and which is less spiritual? Now, as we ponder about that in the background, let me share with you an episode that happened in the September of 2009. All of us, members of the Sai Sannidhi group, had gathered in the bhajan hall to celebrate the Sai Sannidhi day. You might be wondering, what is the Sai Sannidhi group? Sannidhi means proximity, not just nearness but also dearness. So, all of us students from Swami's educational institutions who had decided that we want to stay with Swami because Swami or God is the most important goal in life, we chose to seek Swami by staying with him physically and serving in the institutions that he set up. There were many of us like that, and all of us came together and informally formed a brotherhood called Sai Sannidhi. So we were about 150 of us at that point in time, working in Swami's hospitals, Radio Sai, the book trust, the canteen, the educational institutions all across in Bangalore and Prashantinilayam mainly. So all of us were in this group, and Swami appreciated it. In fact, I remember on the Sai Sannidhi day, the first ever Sai Sannidhi day in 2007, on the 2nd of September, if I am not mistaken, Swami spoke his heart out, and Swami said, these students who are here, he pointed to all of us who were sitting there in front of him. He said, you are my central trust. Swami defined what he considered as central trust. He said, these students are pure in character, good at heart, and they are very motivated for Swami. Of course, they commit mistakes and they should rectify that. But they are pure at heart, they are innocent, and they have great love for Swami, and that is why they are my central trust.
కనుక విద్యార్థులే మా సెంట్రల్ ట్రస్ట్.
Therefore, the central trust means our students only. Students constitute the central trust.
So Swami pampered us, if I can say so, quite a lot and encouraged us. And every year he allowed us to hold one day called the Sai Sannidhi day, where we would gather in his presence and we would sing songs, we would speak to him, he would speak to us, many things would happen. So it was one such Sai Sannidhi day in 2009, September 6th, 2009. It used to be often held in the first Sunday of September because, Sunday is a day where everybody can gather. There is no work, it's a holiday. A holiday became holy day because we would gather in Swami's presence. So on that day, it was again beautiful. Swami was interacting. Swami was asking details about one's family, what one was doing, different stage in life, sorting out issues. One-on-one, Swami was talking to so many students as he moved around in the bhajan hall where we had all gathered. Now, on behalf of what was in all our hearts, a couple of students told Swami that we would like to do something special as a group for Swami. For Swami's birthday that was coming, is there something special we can do? If not for that birthday, for the 85th birthday, which was falling in the next year in 2010, Swami, we want to do something, all of us together for you. Then Swami said, oh, how can all of you do for me? He was referring to the physical frame. He said, that much chance is not possible to give for everyone, right? But we tried to explain that, no, Swami, we want to do something as an offering for you. What can we do as an offering to you to make Swami happy? Then Swami said, all of you have got your jobs and work, right? Do that properly. Do it in a very good manner. That's enough. You see, what we do in life is important. It is important that we keep away from adharma, keep away from violence, keep away from hatred, evil, jealousy, anger. All these we keep away from and do good things. It is important. What we do in life is important. But Swami that day clearly gave us the message that more important than what we do is how we do it. So it is important that we do the right things for Swami. We discriminate and keep on to the good path. But once we are on that path, once we are doing good things, once we are helping and not hurting, once we are ensuring that all our actions are not causing pain to anyone, it doesn't matter what we are doing. There is no need to do something specially for Swami. As long as we do it properly, professionally, yogaha karmasu kaushalam. It is said that perfection in action is yoga. Do it beautifully, do it correctly, do it nicely. How you do it is more important than what you do. That is why when we asked Swami for an opportunity and asked him what we should do, Swami converted it to, it doesn't matter what you do, how you do it in a good manner, get a good name, make everybody happy. Of course, he didn't explicitly state all this, I am stating this. But Swami emphasized on how we do things being more important than what we do. Now let us revisit that question which we started with on comparing the two activities to see which is more spiritual. Imagine that I am doing this Narayan Seva or distribution of food in a very careless, callous and casual manner. I am just walking around, throwing food packets into people's hand, throwing the clothes possibly into their hand because I am in a hurry to finish and get going. I have some other important task to do. If this is the arrogance with which I am doing, then is it really a service? Is it really a spiritual activity? Whereas if I am rearranging the room in a very nice manner, correctly, with lot of love, doesn't that feel more spiritual than this? That is why it is so important we understand the true meaning of spirituality. Spirituality, we often mistake it to be the things that we are doing, what I should do to be spiritual. It is not about what I should do. It is about how I should do. That is more important. More important, yes, what I do is important. As I said, we have to refrain from all the negative things. But even there, how I do it becomes more important than what I do. Let me share with you another incident. This happened when I was in 12th grade. So possibly it was 1999 or year 2000. We were all seated in the bhajan hall after the darshan and we were waiting, of course, for the bhajans to begin because This was the time when Swami would be granting interviews, and we would just sit there studying. Some of us would sit outside, some of us in the bhajan hall, based on our own gut feeling, our own intuition, our own thoughts on where we thought Swami would come. That day, Swami came into the bhajan hall, and he had a look at the main shrine, the altar, and he seemed a little dissatisfied with the way it was arranged. So he looked at one of the idols that was there and called a few students and said, "Can we move that idol to this side?" Oh, what a great opportunity it is when Swami is speaking and Swami is giving a chance. Why not? So he asked for 2 or 3 students, 8 or 9 students jumped up, all ran, all are trying to move it, and just for an opportunity to do something that he says. After that, Swami again wanted to shift the Shirdi Baba idol. Then he wanted to see what is there behind the large photo frames in the altar. One Shirdi Baba and his own picture were there, right? Behind it, what is there? Then what are the different idols? He got them all out and he dismantled part of the shrine. He rearranged it, put an idol here, and so many things. It just went on and on for quite some time. And different students got a chance to participate in this. And some of us, we were so eager to participate that we even messed up. Swami would say, "Go and do this," and the student, without even hearing what Swami said, would rush there to do something. And even as he's doing that, Swami would say, "See, I told this, but he didn't hear, so he will go and do this." And exactly as Swami said, that boy would do something else, and we all would laugh, and he would come back again. Then there was a boy who showed a crown to Swami and said, "Swami, this Shirdi Baba's crown, what to do, Swami?" Swami said, "Take, wear it." So this way, a lot of nice moments with Swami, very light, very casual, lot of fun and lot of joy. It took half an hour almost. The altar was rearranged. Honestly, today if I try to recollect, I cannot remember the difference between how the old altar looked versus the new altar that had been rearranged now. But I definitely remember the magical feeling, the joy that we all had in our hearts as Swami interacted with us and rearranged this altar. Why I narrated this is, we were speaking about rearranging a room, right? Imagine on that day, if there was a Narayan Seva happening outside, and in the bhajan hall, Swami was rearranging. The bhajan hall is also a room, and Swami is rearranging the room like this with whoever wants to participate. Where would we want to be, honestly? Well, some of us idealistically may say, no, we want to serve the poor. It doesn't matter. Swami knows everything. That's possibly because we are thinking of an ideal answer. But once you have tasted the joy of proximity to the Lord, the joy of being in His presence, interacting with Him, the electric presence, the electrifying presence, the joy-filling presence, the presence where every moment you're on the edge of your toes, knowing that your joy might get converted into supreme joy. Any moment, magical things will happen. Every moment is so alive and pulsating with divine energy in the physical presence of the Lord. It is something that has to be experienced, can never be explained, and even while sharing about it, I'm able to experience a bit of it. It is such a thrill. 100% any day I would have chosen to be inside the bhajan hall only rather than serving food to those who are hungry or needy. Because ultimately, everything that we do in life, spirituality is about attaining oneness with God. Whether we consider that God as an external being or a being in our heart, whatever, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, or Dvaita, whatever be our philosophy, ultimately it is about realizing the truth, that oneness, that everyone is divine, that God is everywhere, and happiness is in union with God. And that is why now, when we ask which is a more spiritual activity, rearranging the room or serving food, our answers might change again. Because you see, though I said what we do is important and how we do it is more important, there is something that is the most important, which is why we do it. You see, while rearranging the bhajan hall, as I said, it was not as if everything was done perfectly. Some of the rearrangements went wrong as well. But it doesn't matter because we are with God. When the why of whatever we are doing or how we are doing is because we want to be close to God. We want to be near God. We want to be dear to God. That is the most important consideration. And in my humble opinion, that is spirituality. Spirituality is not so much about what we do as much as it is about how we do it. But then, spirituality is not also so much about how we do something as much as it is about why we do something. Once we have this foundation and basic understanding very clear, we can now construct a superstructure on how to lead a practically spiritual life. And for that, once again, let us turn to Swami. On one occasion, Swami had said that the students need not do any sadhana. If they just follow the hostel schedule, that's more than enough. What is this hostel schedule? Yes, when we were students in Swami's college or school, we would stay in the hostel. And the hostel had a considerably tight schedule of activities throughout the day. And Swami was saying that if we just followed this schedule sincerely with all heart, that was enough spiritual practice. Now, before I share with you the details of the hostel schedule, let me state that broadly this hostel schedule has been made based on the Satwic time, Rajasic time and Tamasic time that once again Swami himself has shared so beautifully. Now we are all aware of the terms Satwic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Satwic is pure, represented by the color white. Rajasic is passion, energy, represented by the color red. And Tamasic is laziness, inertia, which is represented by the color black. Each day has Satwic hours, Rajasic hours and Tamasic hours. And therefore, those hours are amenable to certain kind of activities which Swami said we should do during those times. And it is based on this that the hostel schedule has also been made. So what are the Satwic hours every day? What are the Rajasic hours? What are the Tamasic hours? The 24 hours in the day is divided into 8 Satwic hours, 8 Rajasic hours and 8 Tamasic hours. The 8 Tamasic hours are from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day morning, 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. These 8 hours are best utilized for complete rest, just sleep. Now, 4 a.m. in the morning to 8 a.m. and again 4 p.m. in the evening to 8 p.m. These are Satwic hours. What should one do in the Satwic hours? The Satwic hours are most perfectly suited for achieving the highest goals of human life, which is achieving oneness with God. This is the time for indulging in explicitly spiritual activities where the focus is on growth, the progress of the soul. 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. this middle time, this is the Rajasic hours in which Swami said we should be engaged in work because passion, energy is there. Work or studies for a student, for the student we should study, and for those who are in professions, go to work. Now, these are not watertight compartments because they have to be suitably tailored according to each one's needs. For example, I can say that I cannot sleep at 8 p.m. How can I sleep at 8 p.m.? It's very tough for me. I have to somehow be awake till 10 p.m. at least. Okay. But try to adhere to these 8 hours. Try to do your spiritual activities between, when I say spiritual activities, I'm meaning activities that are focused solely to bring about the progress of the soul. For instance, when I work, in my profession, in that also I want my soul to progress, but I also have to earn a living for my family. I have to earn my daily bread, right? All that is also there. So that way I am saying. So therefore, I should try to align to this. What if I am working for some other country and therefore I have a night shift and I cannot sleep at night? I sleep during the day and I have to work at night. What do I do then? Yes, understandable. But if spirituality is the number one priority in our life, then we have to make efforts to make changes. We do that, right? When for our loved ones, we need to make some compromises, we make it happily because the loved one is more important than the compromise we are making. So too, if spirituality is the number one focus of our life, if we want to lead a spiritual life on a day-to-day basis, we should try to match this. We should try as much as possible to rise by 4 in the morning. Oh, 4 is so tough, 5 o'clock. I'm living in a very cold country. Oh, 5:30. Okay, 5:30, 6. Let's not make it 10 a.m. If it is 10 a.m., let me try to make it 9 a.m. If it is 9 a.m. that I'm getting up every day, can I make it 8:30? Try to align. It was also called the Brahma Muhurtam. Get up, let us try to do Suprabhatam. I try to do that. Of course, some days I get up late, but no problem. I start the day with Suprabhatam and offering that time to Swami, living the day with Swami. That is how we would do in the hostel as well, as I said. The day would begin at 5 a.m. See, though it is 4 a.m., the bell would go off at 5 a.m. for Suprabhatam. So we would get up before that, brush our teeth, and ideally take bath and be ready. But if not, at least finish ablutions, be ready, and we start the day with prayer, morning prayer. Because this is the Satwic hours. These hours should be dedicated for the progress of the soul. So we would have Suprabhatam. In fact, if you look at it, it is during these Satwic times that Swami Bhagawan would grant darshan. In the morning by 8 a.m., morning darshan is done. Evening 4 p.m., that's when the evening darshan happens. Right? See, because this is for our proximity, nearness and dearness to God. Let us try to align with that. Satwic time. Hostel also, after we finish all this, we would go and do yoga. Again, yoga, though we would do yogasanas, this is also a way to develop a connection. Swami says a sound mind in a sound body. We need to keep the body healthy so that we don't have to think about the body. That is the reason. We need to earn enough money so that we don't have to think about money. Because I want to think about God, because I want to keep focusing on God, I should not get distracted by my body, by my daily needs of food, clothing, shelter. That's why for that, earn what is necessary amount of money and keep the body fit. Don't obsess on the body, don't obsess on money. See, this is the beautiful practical spirituality that Swami teaches us. And therefore we would have yogasanas, and then we would have breakfast. The beautiful thing is prayer. Prayer would be so integral. Before our exercise, we would do a prayer. Before even playing games, each team would pray. Chal Sai Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Sathya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai. Shout like that, get energy, and then go and play. Prayer was an integral part, especially in the mornings. Then 8 o'clock, we are in the institute, we are in our classes. Till 4 in the evening, we would have our classes, perfectly coinciding with the Rajasic time. Then, as I said, we are in mandir for darshan and bhajan. Again, 4 to 8 p.m., when that is Satwic time, focus back onto Swami. Then 8 p.m., yes, depending on which class you are in, the higher you went, the later you were allowed to keep awake at night. But by 10 p.m., lights are off everywhere. 10 p.m. to 4:30 a.m., lights are always off. In fact, Swami would also say, don't study late in the night. If you have things to study, sleep early, get up early in the morning. 4 o'clock, start studying. It's more amenable, it's more beautiful. This is how Swami made practical spirituality for us, by saying that you need not sit on for hours in a straight posture, nor stand on one leg and do austerities. No, just follow the hostel schedule. The hostel schedule has been made as per the Satwic, Rajasic, Tamasic times, and perfect activities aligned. But in all of this, the most important is to remember why we are doing all of this. Because many times it will feel, oh God, morning, oh, I don't want to go to Suprabhatam. But Swami will be happy. So, out of love for Swami, we go. So, what we do might have been slightly compromised. How we do it might be compromised. But we would always try to remember why we are doing it, because we want to make Swami happy. And that is why it became spiritual. Spirituality is about doing everything in our day with the sole goal of soul progress towards Swami, making Swami happy, loving Swami more. Let me conclude with a beautiful experience, a beautiful story that was partially narrated by Swami himself during the Gram Seva time. You see, back then, 2000 to 2015 or 16, for about 10-15 years after Swami started the Gram Seva was village service, wherein we would go to different villages, distribute food and clothes, as Swami's prasadam. And during this service activity, we realized it's not about the material gifting that we were giving them. We were giving them hope that there is God who cares. And that hope is all one needs in life. That hope transforms into faith, and that faith, once you have it, it gives you everything you need in life. So, this was a kind of clearance that we had in our own concept, where we understood that we are not distributing materials, we are distributing love, faith, and hope. And it is not as if we are giving, they are receiving. We got to see the kind of life they led, hard life in the villages. We learned gratitude. We learned to appreciate the things that we have in life. We learned to stop complaining and just start thanking God for everything. So both were givers, both were receivers. So during this, Swami would come and every evening ask, how was the Gram Seva today? What did you do? Which villages you went to? It was beautiful, especially in the first 2-3 years. So one such interaction, Swami asked the boys, did you meet Radhamma? Who is Radhamma? Nobody knew the answer. So Swami then said, that lady, she fed you ragi sankati, she gave you buttermilk. Oh, yes, yes. A group of boys who had gone to one particular village, they remembered. They said, yes, Swami, there was this lady. Oh, correct. Yeah, her name was Radhamma. We forgot. We may forget. God never forgets. So she had shown them hospitality, given them something to eat and drink, buttermilk. Swami said, you know who she is? We didn't even know her name. We had forgotten about her. How will we know who she is? Swami said, she is a midwife. What's a midwife? Many may know, but in places in India and other countries where medical facilities are not prevalent everywhere, when a baby has to be delivered, an experienced lady at this, she is not medically qualified, but her experience is the best teacher, they say, has taught her how to ensure that the baby is delivered safely. So she comes and assists. Sometimes she is also trained. So these people are midwives, and Swami said she is a midwife assisting in deliveries. Oh, okay, Swami. And then Swami said, she is the best midwife in the world. Wow. When Swami is saying somebody is the best, what a great tribute it is. What a great honor to be recognized by God like that. And then Swami asked, do you know why she is the best? Don't know, Swami. Then Swami said, before she does any delivery, she prays to Swami and she says, Swami, you are doing it. She feels Swami. She invites Swami and makes Swami do the delivery. She is just an instrument. And then Swami said, when I do the delivery, it obviously has to be the best in the world, right? Yes, Swami, you are the best. And when you do anything, it is always the best. And that is why it is best that you do everything and we just be the instruments. Dear brothers and sisters, let us ponder deeply on the true meaning of leading a spiritual life. Spirituality is not about what we do as much as it is about how we do it. More important than how we do it is why we do it. And the reason why we do it should be so that we go closer to God, near to God, more importantly, dear to God, and do things, think things, speak things that make Him happy, that keep Him smiling like this when He looks at us, while He looks at us. Dear Swami, may the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.